pulling players in and saying, hey, you're conceding goals on purpose. And Stevie Gerrard, I've probably seen him lose his head twice in his whole career since I've known him. And he's coming and he's give it to Bellas. Shut your fucking mouth, fucking that. And he dressed him down and he just melted. Like who turns up to an England squad with David Beckham shower gel? Like, go in the hotel, the reception, we'd be checking in, and Harry would throw himself down the stairs and pretend he'd fell. And be like, on the floor. But he's like winging, going, lads, the arm. And he said, you can't go, we can't sell you and Ashley Young in the same window. And I said, well, you've got a problem because I want to go. Looking like Rooney was younger than me, but he walked in that squad like, I think he had an arrogance of him, I'm the best player here. If you're not feeling right, don't play. You can have a night out. We were there for 10 nights in Dublin. I think we were out for 7. I was thinking, there's no way we're finishing in the top 6. We've been on the piss for 7 days.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Undr The Cosh political broadcast.
We're sat here as though one was just signing for Real Madrid, by the way, aren't we? Eh? But we've got even bigger news than Chris Brown has signed for Real Madrid. Who's back?
Who Knows Wins are back.
With a bang.
With a bang, we've got some more Who Knows Wins leagues coming. We've just finished recording, haven't we? So we thought we'd share the message. Who Knows Wins leagues back every Saturday.
Can't wait.
You loved it, didn't you?
Yeah,
I enjoyed it, but you loved it.
Yeah, really did.
I rang him and told him Who Knows Wins are back. He just went, yes!
Did you get naked?
I probably were naked anyway. Honestly, I think I'm a terrible neck here, me, with this.
No, but the Who Knows Wins leagues are back. We've got the 10 games every weekend on a Saturday. £5. Pop your fiver in the pot. Make your predictions. And the top 3 split the pot.
Yeah.
Win, lose or draw.
Good fun, innit?
Yeah.
Good weekend fun.
So we'll be taking part every week. I've got my predictions in already for next week.
You are taking it serious, aren't you?
Oh, am I? I've been looking at form and everything.
I genuinely don't think I've ever felt as awkward. Do I look it?
Yeah.
I feel.
Did you pick your teams yet?
Not yet, no. I'm waiting to see your injuries.
Good shout.
Yeah, injuries and team news. All right. Fucking hell. I feel like Ronnie Moore.
So the link is in the description of the video that you can click straight on, sign up, or you can go on the iTunes store or Google Play, download the Who Knows Wins app, and the Undr The Cosh leagues are back. And like I said before, it's just good. You're not, even if you lose, you're not giving your money to the bookies, are you?
Somebody's having a drink and a nice meal
So
already on it, aren't they?
Between us all, we're all putting our money in pot, and some of us will be getting a share of the winnings.
Get your friends involved, get your family involved.
Yeah, grand, nan.
It's good crack, innit?
It's not as easy as what some people make it look, getting 10 out of 10, by the way.
I don't think it'll be done very often, put it that way.
No,
10
I
out of
know,
10.
yeah. 10 out of 10.
We've got Parky's Plonkers as well.
JP
Still.
scoop the pot.
Where you're picking the worst ones every week and you still get a bit of a prize.
Yeah.
So even if you're crap, you've still got a chance.
And I'll be honest with you, I have been crap as well on them.
I'm not very good.
But you've got to be in it to win it, haven't you?
So Who Knows Wins leagues are back. Just follow the link in the description to join the leagues. Make your 10 predictions, and who knows, you might be getting a share of the spoils.
Enjoy yourself.
DJ Downing in the house. You do a bit, didn't you?
I did a bit back in the day, mate.
Yeah, no, you just come back from a beef though, weren't you? Did you not get on the decks?
No. I think them days are over.
Were you a rave on DJ or were you like a DJ that like mixed it up in that?
I mixed it up in that, yeah. A bit of house music. And I just did it in my spare time when I was younger at Middlesbrough. I had obviously no kids. I was single at the time and my mates were doing it. So I just did it in my spare time and quite enjoyed it.
Did you ever have a gig?
I did a couple of gigs in Middlesbrough, yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. It was a
Did
place.
you sell it out?
Yeah, it was quite good. It was like a little, sort of like dingy little place. The Purple Onion. People in Middlesbrough know what that is. It only holds like 200 or 300. But it's like, it looks a bit like underground. It's like under a restaurant. Played there. I'd done a couple of gigs in Ibiza with my friends at Eden nightclub. A couple of the bars. So yeah, it's quite good.
Is it one of them where you have one earphone on and the other one like round back of your head?
Yeah.
Doing it proper.
Yeah, I did it proper, yeah. I was
You
a
take your
bit net, to be
missus with
honest.
you, just sit there. Because the girlfriends always just sat there with the DJ, aren't they? Just sat there waiting.
It's just on my lads' trips in Ibiza back in the day, just did a couple of hours with them and I quite enjoyed it. It was, to be fair, it was quite nerve-wracking, to be honest. You go in there and I don't think people knew I was playing or anything like that, but you know, you're getting up and you're DJing and you think, if this goes wrong, the whole club just turns, doesn't it, and looks at the DJ.
Can you get it wrong? I don't know that. Can you get it wrong?
Yeah, you can clash the record, yeah, and it just sounds
You
horrendous.
can what? Clash record?
If the beats don't match, you're like, shh. And then you just duck your head under the table. Blame your mate who's supposed to be the professional, but...
No, fancy dusting the decks off?
I've got them at home. I still do it now and again. Like, if I get an hour and I'll have a, you know, mess around and just a bit of relaxing time, but I do enjoy it, yeah. It's quite good.
My brother's just getting some for his birthday, and I went to my niece is 5.
Yeah.
So we went to a party, and it just turned into a rave because my brother had got the decks out.
Yeah.
The kids were just playing in the garden, all the adults were in there, fucking bopping away.
Glow sticks out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
How you doing, mate? Good?
I'm good, yeah. I'm good.
Freshly retired?
Freshly retired, yeah. It's gone quite quick, actually, the last couple of months. I've enjoyed the break. You know, I've not really missed the pre-season, I'll be honest. Yeah. But I'm quite enjoying the free time. The freedom's good. Like you say, I can do stuff like this. I can spend more time with my kids and that. So I'm quite enjoying it.
Yeah.
I think I've had a little tally up. Possibly our most expensive player we've ever had on.
I was thinking that as well.
I'm free, am
Oh, we're not fucking paying.
We'll pay your bar bill and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, do you ever think about the money that you've gone for? Now you're retired, you ever think, fuck me, I went for a lot of money here.
I think maybe a few people have had the pants pulled down. No, I think when you look back, it's... I mean, you look at some of the fees that go now, it's probably nothing now, is it? Like some of the fees that maybe I went for. But at the time, I think I didn't really think of it. I think it was more the move and the club I was going to, I was more excited about. And it comes with obviously a bit of pressure, that the money you go for. But I'll be honest, John, I didn't really think about the fees, and I was just more thinking, you know, I need to do well at this club and get in the team, and because obviously they had good players.
Everybody mentions it in interviews, don't they? Do you feel the pressure of a transfer fee? You know, like when they first signed, and everyone says, nah, they say the right thing, but do you?
To be honest, Brandon, the only time I ever felt sort of pressure was when I went to Liverpool, because it was a big fee. They'd spent a lot of money on players that summer. And it was like, you know, I had a good season at Villa the year before, and I thought I had to, you know, this is a new level. And I found it straight away. Like I said, if we drew a game, which you think might be a good result for Villa, it wasn't for Liverpool. We had to win and win and win. And, you know, and I didn't score early on, first couple of games, and you think, oh God, and it gets worse and worse. And you start to overthink things, I think. And whereas I should have just sort of had the attitude like I had at Villa and just play
your own game.
Because that's what Kenny tried to say to me, just play how you did at Villa. But it's easy said than done. Like I say, your man over things.
Because you are basically playing against the same players as you were the previous season.
And you're playing with better players.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the Villa lads, but...
Yeah, and I think it's just all it's in your head, isn't it? Like you say, I didn't read a lot of press stuff and that, but you can't help but here in Liverpool, it's their life, it's the noise, and we need to do better. We spent a lot of money. I get all that, you know, that the one success is Liverpool, but that was the only time I ever felt a bit of, you know, the spotlight's on sort of thing, because every game, every week, you have to win.
Is it a scapegoat type thing? You know, if Liverpool starts struggling, is it the lads that they brought in recently that seem to get it in the neck? Because who did you sign with?
I signed
was
Charlie Adam, Jordan Henderson signed with me. Jose Enrique came that window, but a few weeks later. And I think Carragher did an interview like once saying, you know, don't just blame the new players. We all have to do, you know, I think early on we were settling in period, etc. And the results were a little bit up and down. We were sort of like a cup team that season. We got to an FA Cup final, the Carling Cup final. In the league, we finished, I think it was 7th or 8th, which, you know, some people might not think, well, we're in Europe, it's good, but it's Liverpool, it has to be Champions League. But we did spend a lot of money, and I think just before that, Roy Hodgson had come in, and it was a little bit doom and gloom. So it takes time, doesn't it, to gel. So,
but you don't get time, as you say, you don't get time at a team like Liverpool.
No. But look at Kenny, who's an absolute legend, and he got a year, 18 months. Obviously, he took over for 6 months after Roy to steady the ship a bit, and then he had a year with us when he spent a lot of money, and because we finished 8th, John, they sacked him.
Has his reputation been tarnished at Liverpool because of that?
No. I think they knew he took over in difficult times after Roy. He sort of got the team running. Like I say, he could walk away and said, well, I won a trophy. You know, you could have got relegated the season before. It was mad because at times the players were getting a bit of stick at Anfield, and we could be losing. They'd be singing Kenny's name. I don't know any other club or ground that had happened. Like, it's the manager gets it first, then maybe the players. But
I was thinking that about Solskjaer. I think it would turn on Solskjaer, even though he's a club legend, isn't he? I think if it goes really bad,
not with Kenny. I think obviously he's past what he's done for that club, and he's been through a lot as well. You know, obviously with the Hillsborough stuff and like that, and he's a legend, absolute great fella.
I think Kenny's a legend more at Liverpool than Solskjaer is at Man U.
Yeah. Different level. Yeah, he's probably the number one, if not him or Gerrard. But I think they see him as probably number one. Yeah.
Were you a Tottenham fan growing up?
Yeah.
How'd that work?
Do you know? I don't know. I think I just used to like the kit. Gaza went there, and then I got remember the yellow Holston.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a belter.
Belter kit, and then I quite like the keeper. Remember Torsvet?
Yeah. Tall one there.
Do you want to ask me why, John? You're never going to be a keeper, but
I just like the keeper.
I got the keeper kit.
Yeah.
And then I actually wrote to Tottenham, my school teacher, and said, can I come and have a trial? I was on like 8 or 9 or something. Didn't get anything back, but it must have just been the kit, or maybe obviously Gaza and that were there, and Gaza was my favourite at the time. Strange, yeah, I know.
I messaged Wheater this morning, and the only thing he said was, ask him if he can remember us hiding me dick.
I can't specifically remember him doing it, but he did a lot of things, Wheat. I think you've seen him having a nut and ice.
Brilliant, man.
We had some good times, me and Wheat. We used, I think he mentioned it on his pod, didn't he, that we had a few nights out in Recca, me and Tunjai.
That's an unlikely trio, that.
Yeah. Tunjai's a great lad, Turkish lad. He didn't drink or, but he loved the tab and that, and he liked the night out, and he just loved the atmosphere, I think. And me and Wheat would have a couple of beers, and he'd come with us with his mates, Turkish lads, and I think he just liked the area. I think because where he's come from in Turkey, he was a bit of an idol. People left him alone, and he could have a cigarette on the street if he wanted, or, like I say, have a couple of beers and with me and Wheat, and he enjoyed it. And but Wheat always gave us some entertainment on nights out with his worm dances. And
well, you said, didn't you, yesterday, that everyone's got a mate like Wheat.
Yeah.
People listen to the...
That's what, I think loads of people have enjoyed that episode, because everybody knows a Wheater. Everybody's got a mate like Wheat, and it's just a
Wheater.
Everybody can relate to it.
Everybody knows a Wheater. He's not an alien. Everybody knows a Wheater.
No, he's a bit daft, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like,
there's always a daft lad, isn't there?
Yeah, he's good fun. And just when he was, relaying the stories of being in England squad, and he's just a good lad, isn't he? Like, he likes to laugh, and he's in England squad.
Yeah, I think I listened to his pod, and obviously the KFC story's true on the way down. I said to him, you better get some good food in you, because, say good food, bit of naughty food, because you're going to be eating pasta with no sauce and everything when we get here with Capello, because he was quite strict on all. So it's a little bit of naughtiness before we were going into a proper camp. And I think, like you say, he was on a crest of a wave. He got into the first team, big Boro fan, got in the England squad. He played very well as well, to be fair to him, in the Premier League. He done really well. And like the England trip, I think he played it down a little bit, the free kick one. Because I said, like, off camera, when we went to Trinidad, Beckham was practicing free kicks one side, I was on another side, and that was sort of the trend after training, a couple of free kicks, and that was it. And Wheats just walked over and said, this is how you do it, and he sort of spot the ball, and he's pinged it. I'm taught he couldn't get any further in the top corner, and just walked off and went, that's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
I think, like, the lads like Beckham, and then because maybe people bow to him a little bit, and obviously who he is, but he's a great lad, Bex, but people obviously because of his stature, and I think he just seen Wheat as, like, he's a bit of a throwback and a bit mental, but they loved him because he had that type of attitude where he's laid back, he's good fun, and they probably appreciated him.
Yeah.
I can imagine he didn't care if it were Beckham or whoever. I think he'd still be exactly the same, have the same crack, even though it's with Beckham and the rest of the squad.
Yeah. Like, who turns up to an England squad with David Beckham shower gel? Like, I think they loved him for it. He just walked in the shower. I'm not lying, he didn't do it on purpose. He just walked in the shower, put his shower gel down, obviously he's getting the wash and that, and then he's just... And the Bex is opposite him, and he's getting washed, and smells great, this. And it's like, is he for real or what? But I think they loved him for it. And to be fair to him, he deserved to be there because he had a really good season. And I think he mentioned that he was going to get a chance against Trinidad, and I thought he might have put him on the second half, but I think there was a problem with the rule change, wasn't there?
Yeah.
So he was unlucky, really, but he did have a very good couple of seasons in the Premier League.
Did you ever feel the pressure? Did you ever feel the pressure of, like, because we've had quite a few lads who played at Middlesbrough who were younger than you, and they've all said, Wheats, Tails, we wanted to be Stewart Downing. Coming through and making it.
Yeah.
We want to be Stewart Downing because you were in the first team and
Local lad
come through
Someone
and all that.
The lads look
By
up
the
to.
way, though, it was Sunderland where you made your name, though. You went when you were on loan.
To be fair, I was probably in the position that them at first. He had to get the Sunderland bit, didn't he? And it was difficult for me to get in at the time because they brought Zenden in. Mendieta, big names. And at the time I was 18, 19, doing all right in the reserves. And obviously I got an opportunity because I spoke to Mick to go to Sunderland. So that really, because I wasn't getting in, I probably had to leave or get a loan, which probably would have turned into a leave, John, because they were buying players left, right and centre. And I went to Sunderland, sort of done well, and there was an injury crisis and they called me back. So you talk about luck and time, and you do need a little bit of that in your career, I think. And I got into the team. Mendieta got a bad injury. They sort of moves ended inside one in midfield, and I went on the left, and we sort of got into Europe and done quite well that season. So I think timing and a bit of luck was on my side on that one. And then, like I said, when I got in the team, I took my chance. And maybe, the lads are speaking about me. I was probably one of the first to get in because I was older than them lads. So I got in, and I think they're seen it as, we will get a chance. Because Steve McLaren did say when he came in, if you're good enough, you will play. And I think the lads are like, whoa, because before that, under Brian Robson, with all honesty, I don't think we'd have got a chance.
Yeah.
You liked senior players, which is fine, but we were never really going to get a chance. But McLaren believed in youth. As soon as you saw me come through, David Murphy, Dava, and then it just started to roll and roll and roll. And I think players got confidence from that.
Is Middlesbrough to Sunderland not like a no-no?
Nah.
I don't know.
That big.
Maybe as a senior pro, I think. Say for 30-year-old and I got Sunderland, but I think because I was a young kid, I was unknown, I was in the reserves, played a few times in the first team. It was something for sort of a stepping stone sort of thing, like get some experience, get some games, and Mick gave me that because he played me as he needed a left wing, and it was just ideal. But I don't think there was any.
No, because Julio signed from Sunderland to Middlesbrough, and Julio's still held in. He's still a god in Sunderland, isn't he?
As opposed to if he'd have gone Newcastle to Sunderland.
Yeah, I think Colback did it. Colback went Sunderland to Newcastle, and
Grant's done it with Sunderland and Middlesbrough twice. He's well thought of, and I think if you're giving your all and you perform like them lads, like I said, Grant and them they'll go with it. I think maybe there's a problem if it's Sunderland Newcastle.
But the Middlesbrough to Sunderland's not
as big a deal.
Not as big as probably people make out.
Do you think that got you a chance? Because when you get 3 goals in 7 games at Sunderland, and do you think McLaren and the fans and everybody at Middlesbrough are like? I just got to believe
really. I just a young kid on that, and it was like playing in the reserves. It's like it's 2 men and his dog, and I was playing at Billingham, and next week you played at Stadium in front of 30,000. I couldn't believe it. In the Championship, it was like this is probably more than what Middlesbrough were getting in the Premier League, and I just got that buzz. You're playing, you're scoring goals, you get confidence. The lads were great. Mick was great with me, and I just thought this is great. And I actually wanted to stay longer because I knew I was going to go back to Middlesbrough and not play, because when I did go back after the loan, I was on the bench for the first 4 or 5. Then I got in after that injury. Yeah. So if Mendy never got injured, maybe I still wouldn't have never got in. You just never know.
It's the trust, you're earning the trust, aren't you? The manager, you've got someone done well. Some McLaren's like, I can put him in now.
Put him in. If I go there and there's disaster and then Mick drops me or I'm sort of not ready, you can't really knock on the manager of the first team door. Middlesbrough and go, well, why am I playing? You say, well, you can't really do it in the Championship. What are you going to do for me in the Premier League? You need that luck, don't you? Really.
I think that's a big thing that people probably don't realise. You do need to be lucky as well.
Yeah.
And something to happen at the right time. Obviously, you've got to go in and take your chance.
Yeah.
But you need, as you say, injuries or a suspension or something like that.
A manager will give you a chance.
A manager that will give you a chance. I mean, sometimes the manager's hand's forced. Yeah. You've got to play a young lad. But if the young lad comes in and does well and keeps somebody else out of the team, that's on you then to perform.
Yeah. I think you leave thousands of players, across Premier League players who've got him through a chance or an injury or some sort of bad luck on someone else. That's the way the football works, isn't it?
There was some squad as well that obviously coming into as a young lad. The names,
amazing, amazing.
Was Boxic there?
Boxic was there when I first used to train. I think he was running the club, to be honest, when I was there. He'd come down to train, do the warm up, and then if he didn't like what he'd seen and the rest of it, he'd just walk in. And to be fair, you look at it and probably think it's a bit disrespectful, but Steve McLaren managed him quite well. I know he gets a bit of stick that he couldn't handle senior players, but I look back and think sometimes you just leave him. And you see Ince and them and people like that fuming, thinking, no, it's not getting away with this. He'd come in at 10:25, we train at 10:30. Bit of an aura, big jacket on it. Yeah. He had that presence about him, but then we play Saturday and win 1-0, he might probably score the winner. So I think you see it with Ferguson, don't you? The Cantonars, them type of people, they sort of managed him. I think he managed him quite well to a point where then he thought, now I can get rid of him. And that's when
So was Ince not did Ince not say anything to him? Like,
I think...
I'd think Ince would be like, fuck off, Alan. What you doing?
Yeah.
It's
I
more
think
the
he'd
manager,
probably
though.
try.
I
But
think maybe saying something to the manager, like, how's he letting them get away with this? But like saying, it's like Tarap, innit? We mentioned Tarap all the time. Warnock just used to let him do what he wanted.
yeah, I
Similar
think
type
if
of
these
thing.
players are winning your games, you go, if he's having a stinker and he's not pulling his leg, John, you just.
I think that's the thing, and we spoke about it. Eventually, it's down to what happens at 3 o'clock on a Saturday.
Yeah, and
you
generally
can do what you want for the week.
He was really good. He was some player.
And did you find Paul Ince as captain? Because we were at Tails that weren't happy. Didn't think he
Yeah,
was the best for the young lads.
He was all right with me. I mean, there was one instance, me and David Murphy. Remember years ago, you had to knock on the first team door, and they had a steam room and jacuzzi then, and we got told we were allowed to use it. And as we walked in, we didn't see Ince. He was like sort of around the corner, and Hugo was there. And Hugo was like, "All right, lads." And Hugo was a great lad, he's do what you want sort of thing. Not we're just going in the jacuzzi, and Ince just heard his voice. "Oh, you fucking used too. You fucking doing?" And I have melted, I'll be honest.
Was the steam room that hot, like?
Just didn't even get John got 10 yards through the door, and it was like, fuck me. He's quite intimidating, like you say, senior pro. I was 18, 3 stone ring and wet, looking at him thinking, fuck, I'm out. Started to walk back, didn't even get to the point where I get out. I'm already going. I think Dave Murphy stood there and went, I'm going in the steam room. And Murph was a big lad, 6'2".
Shut up, Murph.
He had a beard of 12.
Murph, leave it.
And he said, like, fucking get out. And I think Murph muttered something back to him, like, fuck off or something like that. I don't know what he said exactly, but Murph just walked out. I said, Murph, I can't believe he did that. And he was like, fine, I've been talking to me like that. And I quite liked that about him because he thought, well, if he just said to me, listen, mate, knock on the door, bit of respect first team, no problem, you knock on the door and go out. Because I think he said, what the fuck are you doing? Fucking get out.
Yeah.
Murph thought, well, I don't care who you are, you don't speak to me like that. I wish I had a little bit about that.
Yeah.
About me at that time, but
What was Ince's response to
I
it?
fucking just went mental, I think. But I'm not sure you picked on Murphy. He's a big lad. I don't think he. Yeah, he's a quite lad as well. Murphy's dead unassuming, but I don't think he would have fronted it. But I think he tried to give an aura. A lot of lads say he's bullies. I didn't really have a lot to do with him and stuff like that. I think he knew who to pick on, if you know what I mean. But I didn't have really a lot to do with him. I played a couple of first team games at that point, and then he'd left, I think, for Wolves after that. So
I think I spoke about it on Windass. When Windass first signed, I think he tried to old man Windass off, and Dino did what Murph did. He just went. No, it was like a circle. When you're in, and he's like, no, I'm not. Ince tried to bully him basically, and Windass is just
not having it.
Nah.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he did that, like a bit of a test, or just to stamp his fucking.
I think you see players throughout your career, don't you? They might just think quite lad will test him, and I think you've got to stand your ground, haven't you? I mean, like I was a quite lad who's got on with things, but if anyone sort of disrespect me or speak down to them, I think you have to tell them, don't, because they'll jump on it. And I mean, I didn't have many problems in my career like that, but these type of people, he's seen 2 young lads and probably thought I can dress these down here. I'll be honest, I melted, but I didn't have a lot to back it up, to be honest.
It worked on you.
No,
fuck him. What was Dino like in the dressing room?
Funny. Good lad, Dino. I had one incident with Dino. He'd probably tell you, and we got on great after that. He was like class. We used to have nights out with him and all sorts. He was a good fella. Great pro as well. Not people give him respect for that. He was a great pro, trained unbelievable. Sometimes he was in reserves and he'd come to like Birmingham, Synthonia, Tuesday night, pissing down. Like I said, 2 men and his dog, and he'd run his bollocks off for us. And you got to give him credit for that. He was a proper good pro, and he was a good player as well. And I think one time he told me to cross the ball. I sort of like, fuck off, like muttered under my breath, and he's heard me. And we've come in. I don't know if he remembers at half time. And he said to me, "Don't you ever fucking speak to me like that again." And I've gone, "Yeah, no problem." Like fucking.
Shoot yourself again.
I melted again.
Just bad and brush. I'll take this shit up and I'll get on my way.
But and I said to him, "I'm really sorry." I didn't directly go like in front of people, throw me out, just fuck off, like under my breath. And he's heard me. And then after that, and he said to me, "You learn like when you get older, when you get a senior pro sort of thing, people speak to you like you won't sort of tolerate it." And we got on great after that. And to be fair to him, he was good in that, and he did really well for us at Boro. And I got on great with him. Now I see him at games. I've texted him a few times, and we got on really good. But it could have started ever so bad, couldn't it?
Well, I suppose that's good the way that he's put you in a place a bit, but then passed a bit of knowledge on at the same time.
He's that fucking thick. He probably forgot about it.
Yeah. It was a little arm round the shoulder, but a very strong one. Like, don't speak to me like that ever again. And to be fair, I was thinking, he's half got a point, because when you get older, you try to help. He's probably trying to help me, and And if you do that to a young kid now and he'd done that to you, you'd probably lose your head, wouldn't you? So I think he had a point.
Some of them pros, good with you.
Yeah. That was probably the biggest thing. The pros, when we went into that first team, were when people say you have a captain or a leader, we had like 7 or 8. Like I say, Southgate came in, Ugo, Ince was captain, Robbie Mustoe was there at the time. Big players with Boxic, and then you go through different years, George Boateng come in, Danny Mills. So sort of like you get loads of leaders in the group, and the dressing room sort of ran itself, and there was no more than Southgate at the top. He was sort of the main man, and he was fantastic.
On and off the pitch, was he?
Yeah, just honestly fantastic. I remember, it's only like little things, Brownie, you remember from your career, don't you? And I remember I was playing in the team, I'd done all right, 4 or 5 games, and then he said to me, I'm going to go experience Mclaren, and he put Zenden back in, and I was in a training session, and I might have been, my head was a bit down 11v11. And as the teams were getting sorted out, he ran past me, Southgate, put his arm around me and said to me, you deserve to play, but he's made a decision, so get on with it. But prove to him next time he puts you on, you deserve to be back in that 11 again. Small thing. But my head had gone a little bit, and I thought, fucking, that was good, that. Because then I thought, right, yeah, because if I go on a sub and I'm crap, he's going to say, well, I made the right decision.
Just really didn't have to do that, did he?
No, did he?
You know what it's like,
it's not just a little thing, is it? It's a massive thing, that, I bet, for a young lad to have someone like Gareth Southgate saying, you know, you could easily just, that pressure, I've been dropped, and beat yourself up about it. Then someone like Gareth Southgate puts their arm around you, picks you right back up again. He
was just a class act, everything he'd done, you know what I mean? Everyone, big players were frightened of him, and people think he's soft because he's well spoken. No, don't believe in all that. He could dress people down, and they didn't come back at him. So he had that side to him, which wouldn't surprise me why he's handling big players now, because they respect him.
A little thing for him, but a massive thing for you.
Yeah, like Brownie said, that he didn't have to do that at all, did he? He was just a young kid, just get on with it and shut up.
A lot of older lads sometimes just worry about themselves, don't they? At least I'm playing. I'll just get in my position and deal with it later. But he's obviously thought, fuck me, he's being left out.
That was McLaren's best sign, I think, because he, like I say, when the boxers is all these characters who are probably difficult to handle. He was the best signing on his first signing. I think he was just, he was the pinnacle of it, because he controlled everyone and he kept them in place. If they were, McLaren didn't really need to manage him because he did it.
Yeah.
The thing is, you think he'd just be like quiet in the you won't think he'd like be able to handle Boxic and Dino and all that. You'd think like they'd just get like, fuck off, Gareth.
I think it was his.
You would. That's how I'd think. If I were his, fuck off, Gareth, boring bastard.
He just had a way about him, John. His demeanour. I think it was with respect, and generally, when you play crap, don't you? Or you're not at it, and he wouldn't be where he'd try and embarrass you. Just say, you need to fucking do better. Come on, we need to be. It was sort of more like a group, and then he stood up and he could hold the room. He had a bit of a presence, but.
He doesn't look like he'd have a presence. That's the thing I think we go for. He doesn't look like the stories that you hear about him.
Yeah.
The thing is, it helps as well, because he was always 7 out of 10, wasn't he?
And that's the big thing. He led by how he played, and you can't come back at people who play like that week after week. So,
were you in the meeting when Parler asked him about calling him gaffer?
Sat at the front, and it was a bit awkward, and that was Ray to a T. He was dead off the cuff, and imagine in the meeting room the lights had dimmed a little bit, and I'm at the front, and the guy's like, right, lads, obviously, Stewie, etc. I've played with you, lads. You call me Gate or Gareth or probably no, but he made a sort of a joke like that. And he said, but obviously in the next couple of weeks, got to be gaffer or boss. And just heard this voice, what about Big Nose? And Steve Harrison was sat next to Ray. And if you know Steve Harrison, one of the funniest coaches I've ever met, and it sort of just went dead. The room went, oh, as he just said that. And I was just like, and he went, yeah, all Big Nose, but you could see he was fucking fuming. It's like, I think Ray turned around, Malcolm Crosby was there at the time, and he said, I think that's me done, Malcolm. And I think he was done.
I think that's me done.
I think he knew, and he was in the reserves. I think he said on his pod, didn't he, that he was on the reserves for a couple of months, and then he sort of drifted out. I think he went a whole after that, but honestly, what a character Ray was.
The thing is, Southgate's actually handled that quite well.
Yeah, he styled it out, but you can see it's like, well, I've sort of got to front this because I'm the manager and I've got to make a stance. I can't have him sort of mugging me off in front of, because we were a young team. And we were probably looking and thinking, well, what's he going to do now? Legend Ray Parler, and he just sort of went to the side. But Ray knew.
I think that's me.
Malcolm, I'm sure it was Malcolm Crosby and Steve Harrison. Yeah, I think that's me. I think that's me done, Malcolm. Honestly.
It's not in it that one little flipper off the cuff comment like that could end your career at a club.
Yeah, what a character he was, Ray. Jesus.
I've heard about Steve Harrison.
Steve Harrison.
Was he just make his laugh?
Yeah, I think he was, don't get me wrong, first and foremost, unbelievable coach with a team, how he can organise. I think that gets played down a bit. Everyone thinks he's just a Jack the Lad. But because Mclaren was serious in his coaching, now he was like the opposite. He was an unbelievable number two. He'd come in the dressing room, just pretend he was doing things like shagging things. And just, I'm trying to think of some things he did. Like, remember, played Roma in the UEFA Cup. I always remember this. And there's a big fountain in the square. Imagine the lovely people getting pictures and all that, and we're all walking in our Boro tracksuits. And we're just walking, so you can obviously walk around to each side, and you come up to the side and keep going. He just walked through the fountain and kept walking. And it was just, he just done things like that. And you asked Dean Windass about him, he loved him, and he just done, like, he would go in the hotel, the reception, we'd be checking in, and Harry would throw himself down the stairs and pretend he'd fell. And be like, on the floor. But he's like winking, going to the lads, my arm. You got the staff running over. Harry, you all right? And he's like, yeah, fine, sorry, I tripped on the thing. And he's like, just, you can't, like, there's too many stories. There's a hill at Rockcliffe. I don't know if you've seen it. It goes down before the pitches. I'm talking like that. And it was a windy day one day, and we're walking down the hill. Next minute, he just starts tumbling down the hill, rolling, going, it's windy out here, lads. And he just keeps going and going.
It's windy out here.
I like it. The lads are just like, what is he all about?
See, that's class. I think you need somebody like that.
Yeah. An idiot.
Yeah. Generally, a lot of the time it's a goalkeeper coaching it, because they've been goalkeepers and they're all fucking idiots, aren't they?
I don't know.
Remember the groin stretch where you sort of lay on your front and you stretch your back up like that, and you like lean forward and do all that, and you knew it was coming, and he'd say something like, "Oh, Mrs. Downing, the groin." Stewie's away Saturday, he's got a game. What do you fancy, me and you? And he one day, I think he said it to Hugo. "Oh, Mrs. Eggy," or like that. And Hugo's got up, no, don't talk about my fucking wife like that. I'm thinking, this could. I'm only joking, Hugo. And he used to do things like that on the edge. He was always on the edge. Just like stretching his arm, Mrs. Eggy. Okay, now. I'm not sure you can do that here. He was like, don't talk about my fucking wife.
She's not really there. She's not really there.
I need to compose myself.
Great, honestly, great guy.
What was it like then when Janino and that came in?
Yeah,
because Middlesbrough were paying a fucking lot of money back then, weren't they?
John, honestly, I couldn't imagine what wages, because I remember Janino was obviously World Cup winner. I'm guessing they're on decent money. Boxic come from Juventus, didn't he? All that era. Carboni, we even had him. Benito came for a bit. To be fair, the reputation of him, Benito, is probably a bad one in England. I think he's a bit of a troublemaker sort of thing. But I thought he was a great lad. I mean, he trained every day. He used to come in a suit every day, immaculate shoes. The half-mast Italian trousers.
Yeah.
I just ball him with my night
$1 million.
tracky.
You can't be asked, can you? You just put anything on.
Fucking hell, every day this Ferrari. He just looked, and we used to say like, Benito, why do you dress like that? And he was like, well, if you went to an office job, you'd go in a suit, wouldn't you? You wouldn't go in your tracky like that. This is my job. And I was thinking, fair play. Every day, immaculate Johnny looked.
I've been in pyjamas before. Like at an early start.
I've seen you in a dressing gown, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've come in a dressing gown
Can you
once.
imagine Benito driving at the same time?
Like proper
dressing gown and slippers.
Must be paying a fortune for the suits. Properly immaculate, go for his dinner, and I thought he was a good pro, sorry, Benny, and he could play as well. He was a proper player.
But then first few years, League Cup final, you didn't play in the...
Yeah, I come back from Sunderland. I come back off loan, and then I was on the bench for the final.
Yeah, UEFA Cup final.
Yeah, the UEFA Cup final was 2 years after that. So we were on the crest, really. We were sort of getting confidence. We were getting big players in, finishing 7th in the Premier League, which is an unbelievable achievement. Getting to the final was unbelievable. And then, like I said, we met a good team in Seville in the end. But it was them couple of years, you look back and you think, did we take it for granted? I think we were just going and going and going and thinking this is the norm. And
yeah.
I look back now and think, look where Middlesbrough are now, and obviously things change in football clubs, but in the Championship now, would we ever get them days back? Ground was full, the town was booming. You could just sense the whole area was going with it, and we had a couple of good years.
Do you think it was too much too soon for Gareth?
The Middlesbrough job?
Yeah.
I think the first couple of years he was very good. Very good. I mean, he got from player to manager And when you've played with half that team, I think of myself now, he was 2 years younger than me now. When he took that job, it must have been a hell of a job. No badges, no experience at all. And we finished 10th, maybe 11th in the Premier League the first 2 seasons. Bought some decent players. Had a decent style of play. The way we played, we were entertaining, we attacked. And I think that third year, I think recruitment wasn't great. I'll be honest. I don't know if, we brought Alves in, a striker.
You look lazy.
I'm not. To be fair, he was one of the best finishers I've ever seen in training. The lads will tell you that. He was an unbelievable finisher, but in the game, he just. I don't know if he got nervous, confidence. I'm not really sure if Gareth wanted him. We brought Mido in. I'm not really sure Mido was probably the character that Gareth liked. Like you say, he was overweight a little bit, and then he'd lose a lot of weight, overweight a bit.
You've said that before, haven't you?
Just goes up and down.
Overnight transformation.
He looked, when he came to Barnsley, alone, whatever, they were fucking bigger than me.
Fantastic player, though.
Fuck off. What are you laughing at, you dick? I'm telling you, he was bigger than me. Nah. Because I'm fucking
when he fluctuated, we went back down again.
No, we've not been down the way for a lot of years.
Talking somewhere with Johnny, he'd start the season, he'd lost about 3, honestly, come back and I thought, he's in good nick. Start the season, he's got like 5 and 6, and you're thinking, we're on for a good season here. And then within 2 months, he'd spent a lot of money getting a personal trainer to get him fit. Then he put all the weight back on. Yeah. Then he'd do it again. And I'm thinking, if you're a manager, you must be losing patience here. So you think, over the years in Middlesbrough, we've always had a solid sort of team, and we always had good strikers. Viduka, Hasselbank, Yakubu would get us 20 each, and we'd finish in a reasonable good position. And those lads around them will work around them and run around. If your lads are not scoring and we're still sort of working man like team, there's only one way you're going to go, isn't it?
Yeah,
and he must have been pulling his hair out. And I'm 100% sure they were not his signs. They're just not his characters. And I got on with me. It was fine. When he played, he was unbelievable, but he didn't play. And
did he have somebody? Was there a sporting director or something like that signing the players, or would it have been Gibson?
At the time, I don't know. I don't know who was in around the club at the time. Then obviously Gibson was there. Maybe they're getting agents. You don't know what goes on, do you, behind the scenes? But I just look at Gareth for the character he is and what he's about. And I'm 100% sure they're not his signs. And he might come out and say, yeah, they were, and try and protect. But I just know for the fact he wants, like you say, good pros, good people, and good players. And like you say, they didn't do it for him. And I think he struggled that season. You could see the way it was going. Like a Tunjai, he brought Tunjai.
Start, though, wasn't it?
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah, we brought Tunjai in, amazing, unbelievable player. That's the type of player he wants, energy. And like I said, I think some people let him down.
Because you like really well start the season, and then was it like from November just plummeted?
I always remember we beat Villa November time, and then away, and I thought we're on for a good season. Beating Villa away is good. Villa ended up finishing 6th, and we ended up getting relegated. They went on a massive run after that, and we went on a massive downfall. We were a young team. Because I was captain of the team and I was like 24. It was like, it would be unheard of, really, wouldn't it? And I wasn't really ready to be captain, really. I was still learning.
So I said, did you want that? Excuse me. Did you want that, the captaincy?
I think at the time, Johnny gave me it because there was rumours of me I was going to go to Tottenham in the January, and there was a bit of unrest going on, and he pulled me and said, like, I want to make you captain. You got to stay at the end of the season and help us fight. And I think he's seen it as like a bit of leadership and
bit of a sweetener for you, really.
Yeah. And to be fair, he managed that situation quite well, because I said to him, at the start of the season, he said, we're going to sign players, we're going to do all this, and it didn't really work. And I said to him, I would, if the opportunity comes to Tottenham, I'd like to go. I wasn't an ass about it. I just said, if it comes up, I'd like to go.
When was this, January?
Yeah, it was even before that, and then in January, and I said, like, it's not working. Like, and obviously we had conversations about players and what's going on.
Did you put a request in? Transfer request in?
That comes up. I put a transfer request in. I went in to see Gareth and just had a conversation. Yeah. If Tottenham bid for me and you want the money, go and buy someone, I'll sort of go. And,
someone like that then? The fact that you're saying it...
I don't know.
It always gets out, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always gets out, doesn't it?
And I spoke to him and he was all right, and I just said to him, obviously we had a conversation, what sort of was the plan and what's not worked, and I was in the England team at the time, and I knew, thinking if we get relegated, I'm in trouble, sort of thing, and I wanted to play in. And he was fine with it. We handled it well. And then after that, he gave me the captaincy. I got in, still playing. I was still, trying and helping the team. Turned up every week, and I could just see it. With a young team, you're on a slide. You can see the confidence dipping.
Confidence down, yeah.
And we were on a hard into nothing, and then we got relegated. And I felt for him, because it wasn't. You can't always blame the manager. The players. We had to do better. I had to do better personally. But I think a lot of players let him down, as well as, like you say, not applying themselves properly.
How old were you when you made your England debut?
20.
How was that for you?
Yeah, it was. I think it was 18 months or 2 years before I was on loan at Sunderland. So it sort of went dead quick, Brownie. Honestly, I was literally back at Middlesbrough, got in the team, and I think like say the UEFA Cup, and then I got injured. And I always remember it was Steve Rowney who said to me, they're watching you, you're doing well, and I just thought, maybe because I'm a left winger, they need left-sided players. I didn't think I was sort of ready, to be honest. I'd only played in the Premier League for over like a year, and then like I said, I got the call up. I was going to be in the squad before the one in Madrid. They played Spain. And then they didn't pick me, and then they picked me for the one in the February. Still young. I look at pictures back at the squad now, and I look like a boy, to be honest. There's men, but it was good. I could say come on in the second half, 20 minutes, and then. But it was good. But I was nervous. I'll be honest. I was very, very nervous.
Win. Was it
Holland? Yeah, Holland. Yeah.
You win.
I think we drew 0-0 at Villa Park.
As if you can't remember.
I know.
As if you. I think
I was 2-0 everyone. I think
we drew 0-0.
I think that would be me though. I think I wouldn't be. Obviously, the game I would have to deal with that later. I'd be nervous about that, but I'd be thinking, who do I sit next to? Who do I speak when spoken to? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I'd be a nervous wreck walking into the hotel and shaking hands with everybody and
ask everybody if they want a tea and coffee. Any tea and coffee, anyone?
Yeah, and I was quite a shy lad. I was going to think, oh my God, like Glenn Johnson was there. I knew Glenn from younger ages and stuff, and I thought, good job, if someone's here I can sort of bounce off, even though I wasn't really proper friends with him.
But you knew him.
Yeah, I knew him, and
the thing is, you probably don't think it at the time, but the lads in the squad know that you're a good player because you played against them.
Yeah,
it's not like just if a foreigner comes over here,
and
you're like, what the fuck's this?
Yeah.
But they've played against you for the last year, 18 months or whatever it is.
I played with Rooney. Respect. But even like you look at Rooney was younger than me, but he walked in that squad like I think he had an arrogance of him. I'm the best player here, and I wish like sometimes I had a bit of that in myself. Like he's walking around, he's 18, 19, just going like that, and he's giving the ball, and I was thinking this is class.
Give it to me.
No, not an arrogant way. He's quite a lad, but he had that like a what do they call it, like a football arrogance where like give me the fucking ball sort of thing. I'll win is the game, and I thinking I didn't have that. I sort of have to like feel my way in and like work people out and stuff like that. But he had it. But to be fair, 18, he was a man then when he full beard, strong. But a great lad, and I think what should have set my nerves on the way down. I remember my old agent Gaza rang me. I'd sort of come in the youth team when he was at Middlesbrough first team at the end, and he said, "I'm going to get someone to ring you on the way down. Just answer it on this number." Didn't know it was him at the time, so he rang me and answered it. Hello, proper strong Geordie accent, as you imagine. But all I could hear him was like breathing heavy, going. I was like, hello, is it? He's like, it's Gaza. I was like, oh, all right, Paul, how are you doing it? I'm all right, man. But he's like, when you go down there, pretend you're the best player. He had that arrogance.
Yeah.
I remember Beckham and all them when they came in the squad, when I was in the squad, and they were all nervous and shy. Don't be worried about all them. And just at the end, I said, what are you doing? He was like, I'm on a treadmill.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said you weren't having a wank.
I just had a think, why is he breathing so heavy? So he must have had his... They have headphones in, earphones, and he's like, I'm on a treadmill, and he's just breathing and breathing.
That's quality from him, by the way.
Give me a ring,
but you think, and I can imagine, because Beckham was quite shy, like, not shy, but he was quite quiet lad. I can imagine them when they was 18, 19, when they got, and they must have been, in awe of the Shearers and whoever was in the squad at the time. So, and it is daunting, like you say, if you're a young lad and you go in, but generally the lads are fine. Like you say, they've all been in that position before, they'll try and help you.
Do you think that team underachieved? That England team?
Yeah. When we were talking about earlier on, John, like luck and time and stuff like that, the tournaments, so I didn't go to the 04 one when Rooney broke his foot. I think if he doesn't break his foot, I think they'll win it the way they were going. Rooney was on one, he was frightening money before he just signed for Man United. The 06 one, when he got sent off, I think at that game, I was on the bench that game watching, thinking, we're going to win this game, we're on top of them. The player Ronaldo wasn't really in the game. Ashley Cole had him literally in his pocket. He sort of had a thing with Ashley Cole. He couldn't really... The last couple of times, I think maybe it was in his head, he couldn't get round him, couldn't beat him. And like you say, he could dance past anyone, couldn't he? But Ashley Cole generally did quite well against him, and Figo wasn't really in the game, and we were on top. And like I say, Rooney was coming to the game. I thought, we're going to beat these. As soon as he gets sent off, you're playing against 10 men with Portugal and the big players, and then like I say, Figo and them start coming into it, and you could see momentum was going with them. We got to penalties, and even penalties, I look at the penalties, and the lads, we took 2 penalties every day. And Carragher, Gerrard, or Lampard, whoever, all them who missed, buried a penalty every day. 2 penalties every day, and then got to the tournament and then missed. So I think you can't really plan, can you, for them? They're just luck. It's like luck, isn't it? And if we'd have beat Portugal, we'd have probably went on to win it. But
What was it like walking back in the changing room? Obviously, was Rooney in there when everyone walked back in? Was he just like, fuck me, lads, sorry? Or
no, I think he had his head in his hand. He was obviously upset. I remember Gary Neville going up to him and whispering something in his ear, like, don't keep your head up. What was he? I don't know how old he was. 19, 20?
Yeah.
Young boy. And I think Sven came out, didn't he, and said, like, please don't ruin him. You know, look after him. He's one of your best players in the world. Because you remember, like, Beckham had loads of stuff from 98 and he could have ruined him. And I think he was sort of saying the media keep on his side because you've got a special sort of talent. And, but like I said, they played it clever. They knew what to do. They were roughing him up and he sort of kicked out, didn't he, and got sent off. But
thing is, though, as you say, we're 19, 20, and he was our fucking main hope, wasn't he?
Main man. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Imagine, you know, you're talking about pressure. He's our main man. He's broke his foot. Is this when he broke his foot?
Broke his foot, yeah.
He broke his foot, so he's done all this fucking rehab to get back. He's our main man at 19, 20. I
think he thrived on it, John, honestly. I remember there's a story when he walks back in the hotel. He missed the first 2 games with his foot. And he was lucky because then Michael Owen got a bad injury, didn't he, in that tournament? And he's like walked in the hotel, he's gone, the big man's back.
The big man's back?
But he didn't have an arrogance about him. It was like, he just laughed. But I quite liked that because he had an inner belief that I'm the best player here. I think he thought I'm the best. But that's how his career was so good, I think, because he had that confidence and belief in himself.
There's a lot to be said for that mentality. Of, like we spoke about it yesterday, didn't we? And just the belief that you are the best player, I think, gives you that extra %.
Yeah. No fear as well. Like, he probably wouldn't have been bothered if he had a nightmare because he'll know that he'll be fucking the best player next game. Or
the big players, I think Messi and all them will all have it. They're all but they sort of do it in different ways. He's not arrogant about it. He just knows he's got that belief that I'm the best player in the world.
Do you know about before a game, because we were speaking to Huckerby yesterday, and obviously he was a left winger.
Yeah. Did
you look at the right back and go, I'm going to have you on a piece of string today? Do you have that confidence in yourself to think, I'm going to fucking batter you?
I was a confidence player, Brownie, so I think when I was confident, I wasn't really afraid of what I played against. If it was like Neville and people like that, I was thinking when I was young, I'd get at people and then I was, like I said, confident players. I wasn't playing that well. I'd think of different ways and maybe I overthought it sometimes like that. But you're talking about stuff like that. I remember we played in the UEFA Cup final and we used to get a sheet before a game of, your opponent, you're playing against strength, weaknesses, all that. So I'm playing against Dani Alves, right? Not the quickest on this thing, weaknesses. Not the quickest, not great 1v1. All this, not bad going like forward, he can cross it from deep and this and this. 20 minutes in, I knew this. Whoever's written this sheet needs sacking.
I'm thinking about the same Dani Alves who won at Barcelona.
Goes to Barcelona after. I also remember looking good, not weaknesses. I'm thinking, get him on, get him the ball.
Here.
Took him down the line early on. I'm thinking, no, he's catching me. And I was quick when I was younger. And I'm thinking, no, he's quick with the feet.
He said he was slow.
And I literally played left back in that game, and he was like right wing from right back. They had Navas and him against me and Franco Drew. And I'm not lying. I came off and I was actually going to lose my head and go, who the fuck is with that sheet? Because that is. And then within a year, he's gone to Barcelona and won everything in the game. And you've seen the way he played. Who the hell, unless he'd had a stinker in the game before they'd watched him. Fucking hell. Absolutely.
Whoever's riding him, he's last, and he's gone backwards on alphabet.
You made him look good. You made him look good that game.
He's just gone on FIFA and looked and he scores. He's not that fast.
So I tend not to look at them, and you just think, you're generally playing against. Obviously, Europe's different because I didn't know Alves at the time, he was still young. But Premier League, you're playing against only your championship, so you generally know what they're about. But yeah, don't read them sheets.
Pace 54. Oh, fucking got him. Physical strength 37. I'll batter him.
I always remember when we were younger, you saying Fraser Richardson was one of the hardest players you played against.
Fraser, yeah. Played against the youth team, Leeds, and we always had battles. I was an out left winger, basically just stand out, I'd get 1v1, and I could generally beat people, and I just always had a hard game against Fraser. Youth Cup and that. I was thinking, fucking little shit, like he's one of them. Fucking hate playing against him. Like you'd beat him and then he'd like get back, or even if you went past him, he'd foul you. And I had difficult games against him. I remember them Leeds youth team because they were quite good at the time, and we were decent as well. And obviously the big test was like me and him left, and he was right back, me left wing. But
that stuck with us right the way through. Every time he got a move, I was like, "Hi, Stewie said he's a good player. he should do all right there."
He got in the Leeds first team, didn't he? And then
for a bit, and then he didn't really. I think he was at Charlton for a while. Who's the player that you think you didn't enjoy playing against? Who's give you the toughest game?
When you look back at people you played against. Trying to think. Gary Neville was always tough games. I mean, obviously they had good teams. They generally had the ball, but he was good. I thought his positioning was always quite good. You know what I mean? He was under. I think he was underrated. Gary Neville. I know obviously he won a lot, but he could defend. He was quick. He was better on the ball. I think he hammers himself now, doesn't he, on Sky and say he couldn't do this and couldn't do that, but he could. Like I say, he don't play for Man United for that many years. But I generally had good battles with him. Sometimes, like I say, I'd get nick a goal or something, or generally he would probably get the better of me. But I had good battles with him. Yeah, I think he was. But then I played a lot on the right as well. And Ashley Cole was difficult to play against. I think left back.
Is there anyone at the other end of the spectrum?
I was about to say, I was really rated who you thought, fucking, I'm going to tell you in your ass.
Right, is there anyone you've like ripped up?
Or you know anybody who was a really good player and you think, I can't wait to play against that fucker.
Or like
Danny
you've done
Millsy will tell you, I've got scars on my ankles still. He used to lever me in training. I'm a young lad at senior pro, I think he was one of them, and because I was a dribbler, and Millsy probably thought I've had enough of this kid. And he used to smash me daily. But I think it like sort of helped me, toughen me up because I was a slight, skinny little winger. And he was obviously an international player at the time, and I wasn't in fear of him. I used to take him on and just get at him, and he used to boot me all over. Had some good battles with him, Millsy, but yeah, I actually used to enjoy playing against him.
We've turned into fans, haven't we, the last couple of minutes?
I know, yeah. Tell us about somebody else. Tell us about someone else.
Do you know when you obviously where Boro go down and obviously there was the Spurs things in January.
Yeah.
Did you know that you were going at the end of the season no matter what?
No, because I ruptured my foot on the
I was
lap.
going to say, did you know that the move to Villa was potential? Because
No.
obviously it was the second to last game of the season,
Yeah.
and you got injured against Villa.
Against Villa, yeah. It was an accidental tackle. I'd sort of gone down the line, Petrov come across and my ankle had gone way and it ruptured, and I was out for 9 months. So I'm in the Championship now, really. I need to get fit and get back in the team. I didn't think anything. Tottenham went dead. Daniel Levy just doesn't do deals with injured players. You know what he's like.
Yeah.
And Harry's like, I'd love to sign you, I'd still take it, but he's not going to do it. It's like, fine. And then out the blue, I think it was Keith Lamb at the time, was the chief executive. Middlesbrough was away and all, said, Aston Villa want to take you. We've sort of agreed to do them. You could go for a medical. And I'm thinking...
Injured?
I had a pin in my foot on crutches. If you see my medical going in, I'm thinking, I don't know how the hell this is going to work. But Martin O'Neill, credit me, honestly, unbelievable. The best thing he ever did for me, I have so much respect for him. I walked in and I said to him, he said, what's the crack? And I said, I think I'm out of October, November. The doctor came in and said, no, this is December. It's sort of a bad injury. You need to rehab. I thought, this deal dead. Chairman said, right, we're not signing. Villa chairman wouldn't do it. I said, no problem. I knew it was going to work.
That Ellis bloke.
At the time, it was Randy Lerner, the American. And Martin O'Neill comes in the dressing room, shows me on training, and says, listen, this deal will happen. Just give me a date. This deal's happening. I'm going to take you.
I can just imagine you stood there on your crutches. And he won't
thinking-
sign you, and Martin O'Neill's like, right, are we going to do this?
And have you ever met Martin? He's strange at times, and he's looking at me and he's like, this deal will happen, and don't worry, let me deal with it. And I thought, how's he going to deal with this? You can't pay a player for 6, 7, 8 months to get fit, and then he's not even playing for us. And that's what Randy was saying. Like, I'm not paying wages to someone who can't play. Trust me, I'll get him back playing, I'll get him fit, and I'll probably sell him on for you and all that. He's giving him all the spiel. And then next day, Martin, we're in the hotel, come back in, he said, right, it's done, we're doing it. Fuck you, mate, we won't scan your foot, we'll do all the bloods and whatever they do, but
We'll do everything.
we'll get you
else
fit back.
Do you think it helped that you were American and didn't really understand football?
Maybe, I think he trusted Martin because he'd done that well with players before on his signings, I think. And credit to him, like he could have just gone, I can't be done with that. I'd just go and get someone ready-made, because Martin had been there 3 or 4 years already, and he's probably thinking, I need to get top 4 here. And he literally pulled me in the office and said, listen, you're no good to me for 6 months. You do your stuff, I'll crack on my team. Piss off. And I was in the gym for 6 months. I'm not lying. The first month, John, I was thinking, get me back to Middlesbrough.
Yeah,
this is awful. I was living in a hotel, I was on crutches. I was just a bit fed up, you know what I mean? But I tell you what he did. You know, injured players going every day, 9 to 5. He gave me every weekend off. He said, you come in Monday to Friday, morning, afternoon, you can have the weekend off and go home and see your family, come back, and you do that up until you get fit, and then you're going to start travelling with the team. So I got October, November, I got back, to be fair, quite early December, and he said to me, you'll be on the bench, Liverpool, like to come this week, but you're going to play Tuesday night at Portsmouth. Are you ready? I said, yeah, I'm fine, yeah, let's do it. And it was literally, he just didn't talk to me for 6 months. He kept coming in every month, all right, rehab, go, yeah, we're on schedule, right, no problem, crack on. And I was thinking, like,
12 million quid as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's honestly, when you look back, you're thinking like he put his head on the chopping block really, because imagine I break down and I'm out for, and then the chairman start thinking, hang on a minute, he doesn't know what he's doing. Who's he signing? And to be fair to him, that's what he was. He was a man manager. He knew how to get the best out of people, and he gave me so much confidence. He probably didn't know it, but I was thinking, get me back fit. I want to do well for this man.
Yeah.
He's like,
That's unbelievable.
He's put his head on the block here, and I came back and
I'm trying to think of other examples like that's happened where
Signing
somebody
people
signed
injured.
somebody. Because I remember Van Nistelrooy was meant to sign for Man U,
Yeah.
wasn't he? And he did his cruise ship
yeah,
there and then on a video, if you remember. And they didn't sign him until he got back, I think.
yeah.
But I just wonder what he was thinking. What
The gamble.
he's going on in his head.
Oh, that young won't know. Just give him two right for each scans.
It's just strict.
He was class.
Anybody else would be like, right, we'll get yourself fit and then we'll speak again in 8 months or whatever.
So what Middlesbrough like? Middlesbrough must have been like.
They must have been buzzing because they obviously had money problems getting relegated. I'd sort of like was thinking, back in the Premier League, I think I can't play for 9 months. So I was a little bit thinking, what's going on here? Like, and he was great. He was like, bring your dad down and have a chat with your dad. I've heard your dad likes football, and he was like great. I mean, a lot of people say when you went in the team, he wasn't great with players out the team, but I never had any problem. It was unbelievable to me. Through the week, he wouldn't speak to anyone, John. He wouldn't probably be there. Come Saturday, he'd walk in, he'd just come alive. He just had like man management. He'd walk over to you and say, you're the best wing in this league. Why do you think I bought you? You do what you did at Middlesbrough. You're the best wing in this league. That's why I got you, no one else. But then he'd probably go and tell Assie Young the same thing.
Yeah.
And he just like made you feel like unbelievable. And then like wouldn't speak to you through the week again. Like you say, he didn't do a lot, no tactics. No tactics at all. I remember he'd come in and name the team. And you know when you normally go right back Brownie or centre back Park, and he'd just go Friedel, Queller, Young, just name the 11. And we'd all look and go, where are you playing?
I fancy you fucking going sending me to midfield today. You play out there.
And his only rule was if Ashley Young was sort of having a quiet game or I was, he'd go switch. Or you go as a 10, you go left and right, me like Bonlaw. He'd always switch us 3 around just to mix it up a bit. But he just said, I buy good players for that position, and it sort of worked for him, and lad loved it. Days off. I was literally living in Middlesbrough playing for Villa because I'd have 2-3 days off a week. He was honestly unbelievable. He was sort of like a Brian Clough, I think.
I think I was about to say, because obviously he played in Clough's teams, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he must have took a lot of that into his management.
Even pre-season, we went to Ireland, I remember, and I liked the night out with the lads, and that's when I started to, getting a bit older, mixing with the lads, and he signed Richard Dunn at this point and that, and he got to Dublin, he said to me, obviously we're training, sorry, the full team, training now, I don't give a shit what really happens, but make sure you're fucking fit on August the 14th. So if you're injured in the game, don't play. If you're not feeling right, don't play. If you can have a night out. We were there for 10 nights in Dublin, I think we were out for 7. And we were like out till late. Me with Richard Dunn around Dublin and James Collins, and honestly, we had an unbelievable. I was thinking, there's no way we're finishing in the top 6. We've been on the piss for 7 days, and then he get back pre-season and go, right, you've had your fun, you've had your laugh, time to work, and then we sort of just
kicked
I think he just knew how to manage players, and at the time we were young, fresh, and like I say, he sounded like Dunny and people like that. He knew about their characters and what they were about, and they liked the beer and that. And he just managed them.
Managed it well.
Did you hit the ground running when you were fit? Did you hit the ground running?
Yeah, so I got back in the team. He sort of put me on the bench, then put me in the team, and then we got into the we got the FA, we got the cup final. Sorry, Cup final with Man United. We should have beat them as well. I don't know if you remember the game. Bonlaw goes through 1-on-1. Vidic pulls him down. We get a penalty. About 5 minutes in, he should have sent Vidic off, and he didn't. And we went 1-0 up, and then they beat us 2-1 later on. Rooney come on and scored. But I think if they went to 10 men, we'd have beat them.
Mm-hmm.
Did that used to piss you off, by the way? I mean, on the flip side, so when you were Villa or a smaller club against the top 4, did you feel as though you didn't used to get decisions? Yeah. And then when you were at Liverpool, did you feel as though you used to get decisions? Yeah,
definitely at home. Like if you're playing at Anfield, you'll get that little thing, you shouldn't have got that, or this penalty. Because I think it must be hard for the ref when they're getting sucked in by all the crowd. And I think it was, I always remember Phil Dow was the referee, and I was thinking, I can't believe he hasn't sent him off. He's 1-on-1. He's pulled him back Vidic. He's got to go. If you see the clip, and he's given me yellow, and then obviously playing Man United with 11's hard enough, isn't it? But I think if they go to 10, we'd beat them, because the pace we had going forward against Vidic and Ferdinand at the time, we were sort of getting on. And I think we'd have beat them.
Forget how well Villa did at that time. Just as you're talking, I'm thinking, fuck me, they were decent back in the day.
Well, they were like the 5th and 6th club, weren't they?
Yeah.
And after the top 4,
Yeah.
They were like the 5th, 6th club.
But always in that position. Like,
we just couldn't crack that top 4, and I think he wanted Darren Bent, I think Martin O'Neill at the end, and they wouldn't give me. And then if you read when Darren Bent then signs for us, didn't he? A year or so later when we were in a sort of relegation battle. But I think if we'd have got someone like that now, that striker. We had Heskey, he was good, scored goals, but we needed that 20, 25 man. John Carew, when he wanted to play, was good, but he's probably in London half the week. And all around it, we had a good team, like a good footballer, good pace, good defence, and we just needed that 25 man, I think. And if we'd have got him, I think we'd have gotten it, because that's all we were missing really, just a proper striker.
Did was it later on that Stephen Ireland come in?
Stephen Ireland came in and he was part of the Milner deal, wasn't he? I mean, what a player in training, he was unbelievable. And I think at that time, obviously, we lost Milner to City, and he came in and he was a different player to Milner. I think he was more of a 10, wasn't he? And obviously Gerard Houllier got the job, and I think he just defensively probably wouldn't work out. And then before games and stuff, he had niggle or he wouldn't play, and I don't know if he was injured or not. I think he had a lot of psychological problems. And
I was listening to something recently, and he was just saying he didn't want to go to Villa. He didn't want to be there, and
it was mad.
It just wasn't. He was forced to move, I just wondered how it, like you're saying now, it just seemed like from your perspective as a fellow player, he was
honestly brilliant. He had all the ability, score goals in training, and I also remember when we played Chelsea at home and we were doing a warm up, and he said to the couple of lads, "We never win when I play against Chelsea." So where he'd been Man City, they must always have lost. And in a warm up, we pulled out injured. We ended up beating Chelsea 1-0.
Told you.
And I think I don't know if he didn't play well against certain teams, he wouldn't play, or if he didn't, I don't know, didn't have a good game against a certain player. Maybe it was all psychological problems, but he certainly had the ability. Like you see in training, he was like 2 feet, score goals, could run. I mean, you seen the season he had at Man City. So when we got him, I actually thought Milner was a good midfield player, but he was more of an attacker, getting more goals maybe. And I thought we've got a player here, but he just didn't work. I don't know where he went from there. He went from Newcastle, didn't he? Stoke. Difficult, but he was a good player.
Pires still good when he arrived.
Pires come, he came in for 6 months. He didn't have the leg. He wasn't the winger. Obviously, you've seen at Arsenal, but he could play centre mid, 5-a-sides and all. He didn't get the ball away. And he was brilliant, good guy. He didn't really play, to be honest. I don't know if Houllier had promised him he was going to play, and he didn't really play. We were in a bit of a sort of rut at the bottom of the league, and I mean, we needed probably legs and tacklers. Like we had Rio Cork at the time. We brought a lad in called John McCoon, who Houllier knew from Lyon, and he just didn't have that physicality, I think, at the end, which we needed. But he was certainly a class player. Nice fellow as well.
It looks like he smells beautiful, Robert Pires.
Yeah.
He's a Carbonio. Nice.
He lives in Ibiza now.
He lives in what?
He lives in Ibiza now, Robert Pires, yeah.
Does he like it when you do a set, or does he like your music?
Probably not. I always remember he rocked up the train one day with, remember the SLR Mclarens where the doors go up and that? And he looked like a classical car. John, I thought, beauty car that. I said, bro, how long have you had that car? And this was like 2011 at Villa. He said, I got this in 1998. I said, 1998, why'd you get it then? He said, you remember when we won the World Cup? We all got one each as a sort of present. I don't know if it was from the FIFA or whatever, from France FA. They all bought one for winning the France 98 World Cup.
Bonus.
And what year was this?
This was 2011, and he still had
tight bastard.
But it was like classically, he used to come in it like now and again, like you think, some car that, and he looked brand new. He's like, I got that, I won the World Cup in. I chased with that bomb.
I thought it was just tightened up and not
just got a
in.
car. Just going back though, were you gutted then when O'Neill went?
Yeah, it sort of came quick. He left like a week before the season. I think it was on the Monday. We played on the Saturday, and I think he got annoyed with obviously the Milner deal. He didn't want him to leave because he had an unbelievable season seen before. And he wanted Darren Bent. I think he thought, if I got that last piece of that jigsaw, we're a team. And I think he thought, if I can't get him, Milner wants to leave, now my team's going to start going. He didn't want Stephen Ireland, I don't know. And he sort of, he just went, I'm leaving. Didn't tell the lads on that Monday afternoon, he just left. And we got Kevin McDonald who came in as coach. He was very, very good for the reserves. But we started off all right. And then, like I say, Houllier came in.
Do you like him?
Houllier was great with me. He was great with me, and but he had a lot of clashes with players, problems. And, he was like pulling players in and saying, you're conceding goals on purpose. And I think Stephen Warnock had a problem because he was at Liverpool. And he was saying to Richard Dunn and people like, "Are you conceding goals to get me sacked?" And they were like, so imagine Dunny as a president, he's probably kicking off. Brad, because you were at Liverpool with me and I've let you go, and I think he obviously
just paranoia.
I think. Yeah,
that's an accusation, that, isn't it?
He was off on a head.
His wife, she's having an affair, isn't it?
Yeah. Straight away, I think you're thinking, well, he got senior players, he's not really good. But to me, he was great. He speak to me all the time, and he used to say to me, "You need to score more goals, more assists, because you can go to another level." So he helped me, and obviously other certain players will probably tell you the same. But Ashley Young, obviously Ashley, and he got a good move off the back of playing for him. But I think some certain senior pros clash with him definitely. Yeah.
But you fine, no clashes whatsoever.
No, he's fine with me. He's fine with me. And then I had probably one of my best seasons playing for him. Even though we were struggling, I was sort of personally doing quite well. Scoring goals, doing all right. And but then coming in that season, I think he had a heart problem, didn't he, at the end? And then Gary Mack took over for a couple of games. But yeah, it just didn't work out for him. I think it was probably the wrong time for him to come in.
So, were the whispers coming through that Liverpool might be, because we're Arsenal possibly interested as well while you're at Villa?
Yeah, I think it was a bit of January rumours when Kenny took over.
Yeah.
But nothing really came of it. And then I knew they were interested. And this is why, obviously, when we started struggling at Villa, I knew that, Kenny liked me, spoke to my agent, and obviously had players as well at Liverpool. So I knew I sort of had to keep my head down and try and do well, because, if that was going to happen, I had to obviously keep playing well. And over the next coming months, obviously, with Julia leaving, sort of a bit of unrest at the club. And like I said, and Liverpool made it firm in the summer that they wanted me. So
was it one of them? Sorry, Chris. Was it one of them where you just think, I've got to look after myself here? The team was struggling, the manager's fucking coming and going or whatever. You think, I just need to play for myself. In a way, obviously.
It was like, obviously Julio was clashing with players and stuff was going on, and like you said, I sort of try to keep myself and think, well, don't get involved if anything's going on off the field, I don't want to be involved with, he's fed up with the manager and becomes news, and they're thinking, who are we buying here, sort of thing. Yeah. Got me head down, which generally I did. I was quite lad anyway. I just played, and my form was quite good. Like I say, we picked up at the end of the season, got some results that got us over the line, and like I say, come the summer, I think it was, even though I'd only been at Villa 2 years and stuff, with Martin O'Neill leaving, what was going on, players were starting to leave. Ashley Young was going to, obviously, Man United. Milner went to City. So I thought, maybe are we starting to change a little bit? Are we trying to get the money back in? And is a club probably settling for middle places instead of going for that top half? So I thought it was a perfect opportunity for me to leave.
I was earlier with you, like, with Liverpool being interested, because he's a big Liverpool man, and he, what he's done.
I'll be honest, I spoke to him, it was about the March time, and they said to me, we want to offer you a new contract. This would be, I think it was before he was ill, and Gary Mack. And Gary Mack has the same agent as me as well, so he sort of knew what was going on in the background, that they were watching me and stuff. And I just said to him, listen, I'll be honest, if Liverpool are interested, I have to go. I'm 27, it's an opportunity I can't turn down. And he was like, right, okay. And then Julio was sort of like, yeah, Liverpool's a great club. I know Jamie Carragher and Gerrard, and he was starting, I nurtured these players through, which he did, I think, when he was obviously the young players. It's a great club. He would love it there. And I was thinking, surely he's probably thinking, do you not want to stay here?
Docs are fantastic.
But maybe he thought he wasn't going to be there. Yeah. I don't know. And then obviously he got ill, and which was a shame. And like I said, then the Liverpool thing came about, and there was a massive, obviously, change at Villa in the summer with Alex McLeish came in.
It's mad that, by the way. Have you ever been in a team where you've thought, oh, his best player's gone, another player's gone, another player's gone, we're going to be fucked?
Nah.
We've probably never been in teams good enough, have we? We're just like, look, you're just like, I've got a deal for 2 years, 2.5 years, I'm happy with that. Fuck the rest of the team, looks like.
Time and again, John, I think it was because they were interested in me, and then, like I said, Milner left, big player for us. Ashley Young was massive for us. He went to Man United. I'm thinking, they're selling players here, like, if we're going to that level, why are we selling these? Not fringe players. Fringe players were there, sat on big contracts. Our best players, really.
How did the fans look at it? Did you get...
I got dog's abuse, because to leave, obviously Alex McLeish came in and he said, you can't go. We can't sell you and Ashley Young in the same window. And I said, well, you've got a problem, because I want to go. And I ain't sending you a contract, so you'd rather keep me for a year with a player whose head's sort of gone because he wants to go to... I wasn't horrible about it. I sat in his office. But the one thing that, like, sort of pissed me off about him, he said to me, you know, you've got to be loyal to this club because they signed you injured. So I said, right, okay, so we're talking about loyalty. I said, so the manager who signed me is now gone. I said, but you talk about loyalty. You just left Birmingham City, you got relegated and signed for their biggest rivals, Aston Villa. Do you remember at the time?
That's a very good point.
Yeah, like, not rudely. And I said, so, no, don't talk to me about loyalty because I've yet to see any in football anyway, really. This is a business. But I knew he was already trying to sign Charles Nzogby. He probably didn't know I knew that. So I thought, he's telling me to buy him. I think I went for 20. He signed him for 11. He's pocketing 9. He's probably done good business because he was a good player, wasn't he, Nzogby?
Yeah.
Do you think you've had it in your locker to make that move happen?
Did I put it on?
Do you think you've had it in your locker to, look,
I go away
Kick up a
yeah,
fuss.
just kickstart kicking balls and everything? And
No, but I knew that I think the owner at Villa was going through a divorce. He was selling players.
He needed hot money. He could
he needed money. I think
so he got 10, his ex-wife got 10.
And I think he come.
So you're
Obviously, things go on
really?
that people don't know in the background about these things. People probably didn't even know, but I knew that all these things were going on at the time. I'm thinking, there's no way he's going to get. I'm 27, a big fee. He's probably they paid 12 me. They're making 20. Even though I signed injured, like I said before, Martin O'Neill said he'd sell me on and stuff like that. So he's probably looking, thinking, I'm making a profit on a player here who's 27. He wasn't going to stop that and probably buy someone who was good at the time in Nzogby for 11 and pocket 9 million. He's probably thinking good business all around. And I sort of said to him, listen, my head's not really here at the minute. Like, I need to go. This is Liverpool. I'll never get another opportunity. 27. If I go 28, 29, they go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then the only thing about the Arsenal thing came around was there was whispers sort of in the background, but not concrete. But then when I went to Liverpool, Damien Comolli was there. You remember the like director of football, and he'd worked with Wenger at Arsenal many years before when Vieira and them came over. And he said to me, "Oh yeah, we were going to get this deal done quick because they wanted to sign you, but they wanted to sell Nasri first because of the business they do. Arsenal, because of the stadium they were paying off, they had to sort of sell to buy, which is, you've seen what they've done with Van Persie and Fabregas.
Yeah.
And they were going to sell him to City to buy me, but then I said, well, no, I want to go to Liverpool. Really, my dad was a Liverpool fan. I love Liverpool, and I saw it concrete. I'm going there. Do you know what I mean? My head was not bothered about Arsenal, but listen, they're a great club and all, but I want to play for Liverpool. And
what a fucking choice, by the way.
I know.
Like, I'm choosing between fucking Fleetwood and Burton. You know what I mean? With due respect to both. Arsenal, Liverpool.
Arsenal, Liverpool, yeah.
But I don't know if it was, but Damien Comolli said to me, they were going to come and try and get you. And then as it played out, Nasri left on transfer deadline day. He actually played against Liverpool the second game of the season and then left. For all that could have fell through, and I could have been at Villa and all these things played out, and then you know as it goes. But I spoke to Kenny, and as soon as I spoke to him, like I say, I want to go to Liverpool. It was nailed on.
So was there a bit of uncertainty because there were a bit of negotiation going on? Did they come in with 15 at first? And a bit more.
Yeah,
and
it's like sort of the norm, and they'll bid that no, it's not good enough, and and then
come on, sort it out. Like your art's in Liverpool now.
And it was like, I think it's 15. They do add-ons and stuff like that, and obviously Randy was it's 20 million or nothing. This doesn't happen unless I get the money. And
she's fucking
got
killing
that divorce,
me. She's killing me.
Yeah.
She's
already got keys to Porsche.
And to be fair, the Americans at Liverpool came in and they meant business. There was no messing about with them. They wanted Champions League yesterday. If you know what I mean, they were spending money and they went in, to be fair to them, and it come to a little bit unstuck where they might not pay that. It was 18, 28, and they just went bang, we'll pay, and they'd done it. And then they did it with other deals that came in. Like say Suarez, they banged his contract in. Andy Carroll, big money. They sort of wanted it yesterday. And
is it the same that are in charge now?
Same owners, in charge. And you can see over the years what they've done. And they've built the club, and they weren't there to mess about. And so it eventually got over the line. But I always knew in the back of my mind it would happen because, like I said, I knew what was going on in the background at Villa with the Nzogby signing. The owner, I think, was getting divorced, had problems with. Because he owned the Boston Red Sox as well, I think. That was the Liverpool owners, the Cleveland Browns. And problems were happening there, so I think it was a lot going on that people probably didn't know.
Were you excited getting there and seeing the players that you were... Because it almost seemed like, the Moneyball, like the statistics, but because I think you had the most completed crosses, the successful crosses. You had Andy Carroll, the most headed goals, and then you had...
we didn't play together. Didn't I play? He was on the bench. I was on the bench sometimes. He played. And I don't think Kenny's seen that. He signed sort of how he wanted to play, and maybe I think him and Damien clashed a little bit because he wanted him and he wanted him. And
right.
And this is what I mean about management. But Kenny had power because he was the man at Liverpool, and he probably maybe he signed me, and Damien might have wanted someone else. I don't know. But yeah, that's how it went. But it was strange because when I went to Villa, you get a feel for a club. Like I said, I was injured and I was a bit. This is only because I was injured, but the lads were great. You know what I mean? You think I could, once I get fit and I'm in this crowd, the lads are good.
Yeah.
I went to Liverpool and you walk in the dressing room and you're thinking, lads will get up and they're shaking hand. How are you doing? And I walked in and everyone just sat. It's like, all right. And I was thinking, this could be difficult.
Really?
Yeah.
A very welcoming dressing room then.
Obviously, the Gerrards, the Carragers and all them great. Like, I remember when I signed up, I knew Carragher because, like I said, the same age. He took me out for food in the city centre. This was about, and he obviously knew he was trying to help me and other English lads. Like I say, we went out together and stuff. But I think obviously the foreign lads, they're themselves, aren't they? You see it in other club, every club you go to, they keep themselves, and they're just like, I never signing. Probably just see me as another player. So at first I thought, I have to get used to this because I'm used to lively dressing rooms. You know what I mean? Everyone mucking in and going for a beer, and it was totally different.
Who at that dressing room with the foreign lads was more English, British.
Surprise package.
Yeah, surprise package.
One of the best lads I've ever met in football, Pepper Reina.
I, for some reason, I knew you were going to say that.
Honestly, he's got me more English than me. Him.
Yeah. I just loved him when they won World Cup and he hadn't played a game, but he was there with goalie gloves on with World Cup in front of them all.
Honestly, I seen him in Ibiza actually a month before I'd signed in the summer, and it was sort of going on, and I was in Passion nightclub and I'd seen Cara, and he brought me over and he's like, and he's hugged me like I was best mate. Never met him. Siggy in his mouth, beer, and I was thinking, he's a bit lively, he must be a bit pissed tonight and that. And we're just having a beer, and then when I met him on that first day when he came back, he was like that big handshake, hug, and he just felt a bit of welcome,
Yeah.
I think he knew. He knew to the club. He's probably had it. He's been at big clubs, and Barcelona and people like. He's thinking make him welcome, and he was so English. And I was thinking he's one of the lads, funny, good crack, like I say.
He just looks like a right nice fella as well. Yeah,
big important quality, unbelievable. Honestly, they had the best technique. He's, the rondos they call them, or the boxers and that.
Yeah,
he wouldn't be in the middle. He'd be like he said. I've done this since I was like 13 years old at Barcelona. Keep balls, you could join in, you wouldn't even know he was out of place. His feet were unbelievable. Like goal kicks, he'd just say stand there and right. Class player and just a class fella. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm glad I met him, sort of thing. You know what I mean? When you meet people in football, you're thinking, what a guy, man.
See, we said it earlier, like in the toilet. You're speaking about these players, right? As if like it's just normal. And these are players who we've watched for years and think, fuck me, they're incredible, innit? And you're in a dressing room with him and like, oh yeah, Pepe.
Yeah, I was nervous, John. I'll be honest. When I walk in, I'm thinking, like I said, I like to find my feet and work people out, and you obviously trying to be nice and make an impression, don't you? And I just remember him the first time come over, and I always remember going home saying, "Dad, Pepper in, and what a lad, man! He's going to be some guy." And I always he booked a trip for us once. We went on Carragher's leave and do. He was signed at the end of the season. We went to the Real Madrid Borussia Dortmund second leg semi-final. Remember the Champions League? I think it was 2012. Yeah, 2012. So Dortmund won, but Real Madrid won the game, and he booked all that. Went there, went round Madrid, and he sorted everything. And he was like a bit of a hero, and he was just a class
club
lad.
rep.
He's like club rep. It was, I'm going here, we're going there, and imagine him spitting. He was like,
"Get off the road, get off the road." 1830.
Umbrella road. Come on, lads.
We've got some free shots in the next bar.
So I'm just a lad from Boro. I'm just sat there in the bus going, "Bloody this." Just having a beer, and it was like a class trip, 3 or 4 days. We had a couple of beers, went to the game, had a meal, had a night out, and that. And he just loved that, like he'd book meals together, the lads, get them all together, and have a sing song, and he was really good for team spirit. Do you know what I mean? But not only that, he was unbelievable keeper. Unbelievable. Probably the best I played with, but...
Still going, isn't he? He's still playing somewhere.
Still going. 40s.
We're not playing. He got back to Villa.
He went to Villa.
He went to Villa, and then he's gone to Lazio. He's at Lazio.
Lazio.
Yeah. What, honestly.
How'd you find Bella's?
Bella's all right.
Yeah.
I obviously listen to things about Bella's, and you read from the outside, but my brother-in-law knows him quite well, and he said to me, Bella's, he is what he is. He's harmless. He like you said, he picks on people he thinks he can, and he can have a go at and stuff like that. But class player, I got on with Bellas. He was great. But I always remember one day I've seen when someone gets a dressing down and they melt, he melted, and he'd probably tell you because he had to go at Kenny or something at half time in a game. No, sorry, full time in a game. He was on the bench, he'd come on, and he was saying, you should have played me there because I'm quick and all that. And Kenny's like, shut your mouth, sit down. And Stevie Gerrard, I've probably seen him lose his head twice in his whole career since I've known him. And he's coming and he's give it to Bellas. Shut your fucking mouth, fucking that. And he dressed him down and he just melted. And he was, I've never seen no man who was like, you know, Bella's like, he's front of your knee, you can, and he was like, oh, and he was stuttering about and that, and I just looking for, wow.
Yeah.
Like
I tell you, the thing is, what typifies him is he actually was having a pop at Kenny.
Yeah. He was like, why didn't you play me on the second half? I think the fullback was slow and he played someone, he couldn't control what he said, Bella, so he might have said, I don't know, for him, why did you play Stu? And he's crap, you could have played me against him, and he's slow. Bellas couldn't control what he said, I think, at times, and I think he was having difficult times, obviously, family-wise and stuff like that. I think was going on. I think his head was going all over, and then, like I said, Stevie was banned for the game. I think came in and he hit him. I think I've only ever seen him shout twice, and he just melted, like just.
I'm surprised he's melted. I can just imagine him
coming back.
Stevie can be intimidating if he loses his head.
I bet, but I just think from what we've heard about Bellamy, I thought he's not going to have to do that.
Do you think the fact that you've just said, I've only heard Gerrard shout twice, was it a bit of a take me aback? Oh, maybe I do need to rein it in here if Gerrard's going at me.
If he's having a pop at me, it's something proper.
Yeah, I think Stevie was one of them. He'd watch people sort of build up, and I think he had an explosion in him now and again. I think he'd watch Bellas. He was sort of giving young players it, and over the couple of weeks of training and stuff like that. And I think what he does, he stores things, watches, and then he gives a tirade. But he reminded me of Southgate in a way, how he played. You know, he was quite quiet, didn't really say a word.
I was about to say, like, as a character, you wouldn't have him as a captain, apart from the fact that he led by example.
Yeah.
In the dressing room, would he like would he sort shit out or would he?
No, I think he had a good balance of character. Cara was the voice. Cara was the manager, basically. He fucking didn't give a shit really. He just tell you straight, fucking do this. And I think his soundboard was brilliant because he managed in his little way and he done that. Not like he overpowered him. They'd worked together quite well and they were obviously good friends and knew each other for a long time. But I think Stevie played and the way he played. But then I think when something needed to be said, he'd say it, and generally it probably made sense when he did it.